Hello, in this video we'll look at a few examples of how to create methods that take inputs. Let me just type a full example for you and then we can talk about how it's going to work. You can feel free to type this as well. I'm going to make a very silly method that just displays the sum of two numbers. Alright, so I'm going to call it print number sum, and if it's supposed to print the sum of numbers, I'm going to need to give it some inputs. I'm going to need to give it the numbers that I want it to add. So let's say 2, 3. Alright, I'm trying to use a method here that I haven't defined, and again, if you hover over it, it says the method is undefined for the type temp. So let's define the method. Just like last time, we're going to declare it outside of the main method. The template will start out the same, public static void, and here I type the name of my method, which is print number sum. There's a difference now, though. Last time, we left these parentheses empty, and we just had a print statement here on the inside. This new method needs to take input numbers. I'm trying to give it the numbers 2 and 3 so that it can display the sum of 2 and 3. There's a special way that methods gain access to their inputs. I want these two numbers to get copied down inside my method somehow. If you declare two variables right up here inside these parentheses, these values will automatically get copied into these variables whenever you run the command. So it looks like these two numbers are ints, so let's call them A and B. And let's display A plus B. Actually, let's make a nicer display. I'm going to display the full addition. So it'll display the number A, then a plus sign, then it will display the number B, and then an equal sign, and then it will display the actual sum. Alright, so if I run it, you should see that it will work. So it says 2 plus 3 equals 5. Alright, how did this happen? Well, when I run it, it sees print number sum, and so it tries to go to where that method is defined so that it'll know what it's supposed to do. So it jumps down here to print number sum. And then Java sees that there's two variables here. So it takes the number 2 and copies it inside A, and number 3 and copies it inside B. This happens automatically. You don't even have to do that. And so now, inside the method, you know whenever you see A or B, and you think, what is A? What is B? Where did those values come from? Well, they came from up here, and here they got their values because they were copied from there. If I were to run my method again with different inputs, 10 and 20, the first time I run the commands, 2 gets copied to A, 3 gets copied to B, and it'll display what it's supposed to display. But then the second time I run the commands, now 10 gets copied to A and 20 gets copied to B. So if I run the program, you'll see it's displaying the exact same math problem, the exact same kind of math problem twice in a row, but the numbers are different. And the reason the numbers are different is because I gave the commands different numbers as inputs. Alright, a couple things that you might have guessed at, but let me tell you. The number of values that you have in the parentheses here has to match the number of variables that you create there, because the whole point is it copies the values into the variables. The data types also have to match, so I couldn't say hello because it would try to copy this string hello into the int A, and that wouldn't work. I told you a second ago the numbers have to match, rather the number of inputs, so let me just show you that that's true. Here it says the method print number sum, and then see how it says int in parentheses? That means it knows that you need 2 inputs. It says that's not applicable for the argument int. Argument is a word that means input. So altogether it's saying we've got this command that's expecting 2 inputs, and we can't apply it when there's only 1 input. So it can copy this 20 into the A, but then there's nothing to copy into B. Alright, well that was one simple example. Let's make a tip calculator. Nope, let's make another program that shows you how to take different kinds of inputs that are different data types. So again, this is going to be kind of a goofy example. I'm going to make a method called display favorites, where I'm going to give it my favorite word and my favorite number. And it's just going to display that information. Alright, so I need to change two things here. I have named the method display favorites, but this method is still called print number sum. Actually, hold on. Let's keep print number sum the way it is. Just because I don't want to use it anymore isn't any reason to delete it. Let's create a totally new method. So the template is the same, public static void. Now my new command is called display favorites. And it looks like I'm trying to give it a string followed by an integer. So I know right here where I'm creating the command, I'll need to define two variables, one that will hold a string and one that will hold an integer. I'm going to call this one word, and I'm going to call this one num. And again, don't forget the opening and closing curly braces, because that's where you say this is where my command starts, this is where my command ends. Alright. I'm going to now print your favorite word is... Oops, I was just starting to type carrot because I was thinking carrot, but the text carrot has been copied into Word, so I actually want to display the variable word because that's what has the information I want. Let's print your favorite number is, and then print num. Alright, so now when I run it, carrot gets copied to Word, 6 gets copied to num, and then it will display your favorite word is carrot, your favorite number is num. But then if I run the method a second time, the second time I run the method, now Marcus gets copied into Word, and 17 gets copied into num. So the second time I run it, it should display your favorite word is Marcus, your favorite number is 17. Okay, let's run it and make sure it does that. Cool, your favorite word is carrot, your favorite number is 6, your favorite word is Marcus, your favorite number is 17. So that's done what we expect. Alright, let's do a self-test. So right now, I would like you to create a new method. The method should be called Zorro, and it should take as input 2 integers followed by 2 strings. And on the inside, I don't care what you do on the inside of the method. I just want you to create a method that is capable of taking those 4 inputs. Okay, so one more time. The name is Zorro. It should take 2 integers followed by 2 strings as inputs. So 4 inputs total. Okay, give it a try. I'm about to do it. So I said I wanted it to be called Zorro. It's supposed to take 2 integers as inputs and then 2 strings. Word 1 and word 2. So you can tell that there's 4 different inputs here total. They're separated by commas. I'm going to create the Zorro command here. Public static void Zorro. And if I'm going to create enough variables to hold those 4 inputs, I know I'll create an integer and another integer and a string and another string. And then on the inside of the method, I can do whatever I want. Okay, I hope this has helped you. Tune in next time for some even more useful methods.